This week on Pure Brews America.
It's all aboard to Mountain Town Brewing Company.
And I looked and it was like the holy grail. Here, look, all this beautiful equipment's over here. And I'm like, this is pretty cool. I would love to do like this in Mount Pleasant.
But first, will the rowdy crew at Unruly Brewing Company convince Shannon to join the club?
Sorry, Dad.
All across America, the craft beer industry is exploding. I'm Ryan Terpstra, professional beer lover.
And I'm Shannon Long, founder and CEO of Brew Export.
Let us be your tour guides behind the scenes, where we will meet the key players and the beer makers and learn how they turn their dreams into reality.
We'll be traveling across the state to introduce you to some of Michigan's best beers.
It's a craft beer revolution on Pure Brews America. When you arrive at Unruly Brewing Company in Muskegon, there is definitely a rock and roll vibe.
For sure. And don't worry, Mom and Dad, I did not get a tattoo. Don't be intimidated by this brewery because it is one of the most friendly places that you'll ever find.
Blue collar, gritty love. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, nobody's faking it here.
It's really laid back. I mean, and I don't know if some people would think maybe it wasn't because kind of the punk theme, but it's just super chill and super laid back.
It's more than a brand, it's a lifestyle. It's how we all live. We're all, just heavy rockers. We have a passion for our community, for our product. It's been the perfect fit for who I am.
The opportunity to start Unruly was also the perfect fit for Eric Hoffman, a beer maker who was so prolific that his passion for craft brewing made him a legend in his neighborhood.
I was never a professional brewer. I started out as a home brewer, and like everyone else, I started out doing the small little batches here and there, and next thing I knew, I was doing 4 or 5 batches a week, and I didn't have anywhere to put beer. It got to the point where my wife was questioning my lifestyle. That was right about the same time I got in talks with Mark and Jeff about opening the brewery. Mark was one of my guinea pigs I'd always drop beer off to help clean out my fridge. And
it's been a really crazy ride with ups and downs that I couldn't have predicted at all. But I knew Eric prior. I had brewed with him. I knew that this was going to work. That's why I had been here for probably 8 months and I got the logo tattooed on my hand.
There it is. I love it.
I'm in here,
Sealed deal. It's on your skin now.
we really, really wanted to be downtown Muskegon. So we kind of approached the business a little different, where we started out with a big tap room that we could grow into. And this building was perfect. We love the concept of having a few other businesses in here with the Drip Drop Drink coffee shop and Rebel Pies Pizza, which everyone appreciates. And it's kind of turned into almost a little bit of a community gathering spot.
The building really is perfect for Unruly, but we were a bit surprised when people just casually talk about this place being haunted.
There are lots of buildings in Muskegon that are haunted. I brewed downstairs with Eric once, and
You brewed downstairs?
yeah, with Eric.
Tell me a little bit about that.
We got here at about 6:30 in the morning, and I thought somebody else was already downstairs because I heard somebody say, "Hey," and there was nobody there.
Are you serious? You're making this up.
Nope.
Dude, I'm done with this place.
Yeah, tragically, when this building was a post office, they had a fire down in the basement, and that fire actually lasted, by the story goes, 9 hours. And there were 3 firefighters actually died in the basement, actually in the brew house. You can still, to this day, see the charred rafters. It's still the original rafters.
Tell me, how does it feel to be brewing in a haunted brew house? I've heard rumors.
Yeah, I feel like I'm at peace with everything that's down here. There's been some weird sightings or hearing things more or less. A lot of the times when I'm here early in the morning, I got heavy metal blasting, so I don't hear anything anyways.
Well, we had to find out if this place is haunted for ourselves. And by ourselves, I mean Shannon. Eric's wife Trisha goes ghost hunting for a hobby, and she jumped right in to take our crew around the basement and the brew house.
Go ahead and
Get
turn this
started.
up. Yep. So this will just scan frequencies, and if we see anything, come up on that. Here's our EMF reader, and I have our EVP going. So,
All right,
let's do this. All right, let's do it.
what's the beeping mean?
The beeping is actually part of the EMF meter, so that just tells us if we could be around wires, things like that, that might be emitting it. Could possibly be
Oh my God.
spirits, but is there anybody here?
Why did you guys buy a haunted brewery? It makes the beer better, right?
I think it makes the beer better. I think
It's a creepy
makes it fun.
bicycle.
Yeah, it's great. It's a creepy bicycle over here. Basement itself is creepy. It's awesome.
In addition to the ghosts, Unruly also has some brewers who are willing to dress up in scary costumes, so it was time to set Shannon up for a little surprise.
This is the Candyman bathroom. It's basically this bathroom that's never been renovated since the building's pretty much been here.
Oh
the
my
paint
God.
is peeling off the walls. It's pretty scary, and I'm just pretty much waiting for Candyman to show up every time I go into this bathroom.
All right. Well, on that note, let's do it.
You ready? All right. So you can see it's a little dilapidated.
This is literally
Scary.
satanic right now.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
That bathroom is not. Yeah, are you kidding me? Oh my God. I knew someone was gonna be in there, but I didn't expect you to be that weird. Yeah, so I need a beer after that. So we headed upstairs to check out what Unruly has to offer. What's your favorite beer here?
21 Guns, no doubt, hands down.
Like that.
I think it's the best. I think it's the best beer I've ever drank. Very nice, drinkable, a little grapefruit taste to it. Great beer.
All right, so what we got here, this is our Foundry SLAG. It's an American-style stout. Aren't a lot of breweries actually doing a traditional American-style stout? You'll see a lot of oatmeal stouts. You'll see a lot of imperial stouts. Not a lot of breweries actually do this style.
This is sweet, easy drinking. Quite like this beer.
This whole downtown area at one time was mostly foundries, and there were thousands and thousands of people that worked down here at the foundries. And you'll see on the outside of our building, we actually have a mural that's a tribute to that.
I'm drinking Orange Julius. It's their wit beer. From what I understand, it's one of their best sellers. It's just really, really awesome.
So this is our spring-summer seasonal. This is kind of starting to drive some of the growth of our brewery to the point where Cody has to make this twice a week, and he's probably tired of brewing it, but
Please keep going.
it's made with sweet orange peel and vanilla bean
Ooh.
and lactose. So between the vanilla and the orange and then the lactose, it really creates a nice blend.
What have you guys been doing? Good drinking.
I love what Unruly did for this city. Breweries in general help revitalize a city. And to see what happened to Grand Rapids, to see what happened to the state of Michigan, how people perceive us as a great beer state, each city has its own story. And Unruly is our story, but it's only the beginning of our story. The energy, the enthusiasm that young professionals have coming here, the energy that I have coming down here, makes us all want to do a better job.
I just want people to know that we make an awesome product. We're really proud of our products. We have a kick-ass atmosphere here in the tap room. It's going to be a totally different feel than you'd expect to find in Muskegon. They just need to check it out.
You gotta see it for yourself.
Absolutely. And I think it'll become one of their favorite spots. It usually does.
Unruly has turned into one of our favorite places. And before we took off, they had one more surprise for us.
Today is Shannon's birthday. She's turning the big 2-4 today.
After the break, a historic brand comes back home.
Hello, all you Stroh's drinkers.
And then we make a stop in mid-Michigan to visit Mountain Town Brewing Company.
That and a lot more next on Pure Brews America.
At Lawrence Technological University, you'll go way beyond the books. Professors with real-world experience deliver hands-on instruction in small classes, helping students land co-ops, internships, and research projects. By graduation, 80% of LTU students have jobs or plans to pursue master's degrees. And most Lawrence Tech grads earn more than their peers. So if you're ready to embrace your possibilities, We want you at LTU.
Why are you all here? To learn, right? So you can get a good job, so you're not working for peanuts. Well, what if I told you that peanuts can work for you? While you guys are busy napping, peanuts are delivering 7 grams of protein and 6 essential nutrients right to your mouth. You ever seen a peanut take a day off? No. Peanuts don't even get casual khaki Fridays, because peanuts take their job seriously. So unless you want a life of skimming Wi-Fi off the neighbors, you'll harness the hard-working power of the peanut.
At Rogue Brewing, we have a burning passion to bring you the best beers, including Livewire, a classic American IPA that is shockingly refreshing. Powerboat, our Belgian wheat beer with summer zest. Mean Street, an American amber that is clean as it is mean. And Devil Dog, our oatmeal stout brewed in honor of our nation's veterans. Rogue Brewing Company, aggressively brewed in Royal Oak, Michigan. Rogue On.
This is The Middle, a place where somehow common sense just seems a little more common. Where people come together, look each other in the eye, and get to work. Our hands may be calloused or sometimes sore, but we raise them quickly and lend them easily. Because this is the heart of the heartland. This is Michigan, and we're big believers in more. Like we can always do a little more, give a little more, love a little more, and find ways for our families to have a little more. We were born and raised here, and for 80 years now, we've made it our business to do whatever we can to help people have and do a little more.
What is Meyer Beer Frontier?
The Beer Frontier is your online home for discovering and exploring Michigan's best breweries and beers. Get the latest news about your favorites, like Bell's announcement to bring back their Oktoberfest style for the first time in 5 years. Be smart, be curious, join us on the Meyer Beer Frontier.
What has it meant for you to be a partner with a retailer like Meyer that's been able to put you a small town brewery throughout the state?
If anybody could be a gentleman in the business, it's Meyer. You know, when we go down there and do our taste testing, the guys are like, I love the stuff, I love the packaging, and they've even suggested packaging changes for us. And we were learning so much from them. Hey, we have, instead of having the full facing, we're gonna have a half facing, great partners to work with. And they've been a great retailer for us.
It's amazing because Meyer's the most popular, the most important place to Michigan shoppers. And there's a lot of people that go to Meyer that don't even know that craft beer exists.
Not only in Michigan, but they're now in Indiana with us, in Ohio. And when you're working with people like that, they have that buying power, but also that shelf space, it's wonderful to work with.
So all of a sudden they walk down that aisle and they're seeing all these great 6-packs and all these different options that are Michigan brewed, and us being one of them, we're very proud of that.
Stay on the cutting edge of Michigan's best. Let Meyer be your guide across the beer frontier.
Hello, all you Stroh's drinkers. Thank you for coming down here tonight and participating in our launch event and drinking the first Stroh's brewed in Detroit in over 30 years.
When Stroh's was sold in '99 and moved out of the city, you could kind of see that it was like the heart of Stroh's was removed. For this brand to breathe life back into it, it needed to be home.
Stroh's has always been on that radar screen where we've said, man, if we could just take it back to Michigan. This thing all started in 1850, in Detroit. So to be able to sit here in 2016 and talk how we're bringing Stroh's back to Michigan to brew is really exciting, something that we're really proud of. So this is a project that's probably been worked on over the last 3 years. It took a lot of effort from a lot of people, but first things first, right? We had to brew a beer that was worthy of the Stroh's name, and that was really important to us. So we wanted to get the product right first,
being part of Stroh's and the long heritage and history that this brand has, originating in 1850, means that we have a ton of recipes that we can look back on. And there was a Stroh's Bohemian produced, and it was an 1850s recipe that we started with and have modified. People will recognize some cues from Stroh's signature in this beer, as well as the old Stroh's Bohemian. We kind of took the best of all of those recipes, put them together to create a great Bohemian-style Pilsner. The guys at Brew Detroit have just been fantastic partners as we've worked on this project. I can't say enough good things about them and the way that they've worked with myself, our brewers, our whole team at Stroh's to make this dream a reality.
We talk about craft beer all the time. Well, we're in a facility that is really brewing craft beer. And Stroh Bohemian's no different. It's a great tasting product. I think the people that are looking for a more sessionable craft, this is a perfect product for them.
I like it. It's very drinkable. It's very easy, not overly hoppy. So from a craft beer perspective, it would be a very sessionable beer to drink with a great history behind it.
The first time I tried it, it tasted like the first time I ever had a beer. And it's so distinct, like I've had so many different beers. This is what I think of when I think of like a traditional beer.
And to have people remember, particularly those who grew up with Stroh's, whether it was the ice cream or the beer, to have it be part of our history and for the new generation to be adding to that legacy of Stroh's.
And you see kind of a new generation of people that are getting excited about Stroh's and an old generation kind of coming back in, and they're both having this great conversation around a Stroh's beer.
Here's to Stroh's being back and brewed in Michigan, brewed in Detroit, and here's to Stroh's Bohemian. Here. Cheers.
And we were trying a bunch of different fries that our chef had come up with.
And there were about 4 baskets on this table. And after about 5 minutes, there were 3 baskets full of fries and 1 basket was totally empty.
One of them was the crack fries, but they weren't called that. They were just one out of these 8 different fries we were trying. And
someone said, "Oh my God, you see how we did that basket of fries?" And someone else said, "Yeah, it was like crack."
Somebody else said, "Let's call them crack fries," and it just kind of happened like that.
Hey, I'm Chris.
And I'm Gary, and we're from Hopcat.
And today, we're gonna make beer bar cheese. Start off, we're gonna be using some cream cheese that we left out for about an hour, just to let it get soft and warm. Then we're gonna mix in our horseradish.
What kind of cheese we got here?
We're gonna start off with blue cheese.
Ooh.
All right, next we're gonna add our ground mustard. Got a little half and half here, in Worcestershire. Lastly, we're gonna add in our roasted garlic.
Ooh.
We're gonna use some Founder's Porter for this one. All right, so we're gonna mix this real quick. We wanna make sure it's nice and smooth before we put the rest of our cheese in.
So about how long on the mixer?
That'll be about 5 minutes. All right, Gary, I think we're done now.
What?
I think we're done now.
I can't hear you.
We're done. All right, next we're gonna add in our mixed cheese here.
This is just a mix of cheddar, Colby Jack, a little mozzarella, right on. I'll let Chris get this thing mixed up.
All right, Gary, looks like the beer cheese is ready to go.
Cheers.
And that's how you make beer cheese.
Coming up next, we hop a train and head to Mountain Town Brewing Company.
You can see the brewery right there, and the beer's my favorite thing. The food's even better. It's all good.
Stay tuned, more Pure Brews America is on its way.
LTU students have jobs or plans to pursue master's degrees. And most Lawrence Tech grads earn more than their peers. So if you're ready to embrace your possibilities, we want you at LTU.
Lazy days and lazy nights, I'm sitting at the bar and everything's alright. Just kicking back and taking my time, and I feel fine.
Jack Link's Beef Jerky presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Classic. Here we are, big fella. Come get it, big guy.
Jack Link's Jerky. Feed your wild side.
We want you.
We are Lawrence Technological University, and we don't want just anyone.
We want the brainiacs, visionaries, geniuses, and game changers. We want the students who will change the world through technology, science, business, and design.
So if you're ready to explore your possibilities,
We want you at LTU.
Lawrence Tech. Possible is everything.
Hey Ryan, I think we're on the right side of the tracks for this episode.
I think you're right, Shannon, but seriously, we're heading to Mountain Town in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and these train tracks lead to some great beer.
I think that's our signal to go.
Time to go.
I really didn't want to get into the restaurant business. I was kind of thrown into it. And so here I am in my dorm room brewing beer. Too young to consume beer, but I could brew beer. So I was brewing beer in my dorm room and said, you know what would be interesting is to actually open up a brewery. And so I'm with my family, and I'm in this little brewery called Millrose Brewing Company in Schaumburg area, Hoffman Estate, Illinois. And I looked and it was like the holy grail. Here, I look, all this beautiful equipment's over here, and I'm like, this is pretty cool. I would love something like this in Mount Pleasant.
And things kept rolling from there. Jim and his partners converted an old train depot into Mountain Town Station, which at the time became only the 6th brew pub in Michigan. But it's been attracting beer and food lovers since 1996.
You never feel like you're a customer, you feel like you're part of their family, and that's what I love. I love coming here.
But I just like the feel here. I'm about like an environment, and it's a good environment. There's good people. It's a nice, you have a good feel when you're here.
Get yourself a Belgian wit and get yourself the brisket meal. You can't go wrong with that.
I love coming here, yeah. I'm gonna keep coming back here. What do you think Mountain Town does that sets you guys apart?
And these guys have been with me ever since the beginning. Kim, Doug, Jeff, and the boys back there. And it's the culture that we have. They have so much passion for the product that goes out. Even when they get customers that email us back, hey, we love your product, they get back to them, thank you very much, where'd you get it at, those type of things, and get that dialogue going. And really what craft is, it's that local, it's that flavor. Make that unique product that people like and keep it consistent, and that's key.
One change Mountain Town has undergone was a big one when they renamed and repackaged their microbrewery in 2014.
So we started off, our town is Mount Pleasant. What a great name to be, Mount Pleasant Brewing Company. As we started to grow and continue to grow, we found out a great lesson on trademarking. And a winery in Missouri called Mount Pleasant Winery down there said, hey, by the way, you can't use the name. I said, why not? I'm not a winery, I'm a brewery. Yes, but you fall in the category of fermentable beverages that are distributed. So I checked with the attorney, and the attorney says, yeah, you could try to fight it probably, it might win, but it's gonna cost you a lot of money. And so we got all together as a team. All our customers got together in this room, and we had a whiteboard and kept going name after name after name. What should we name it? And it really kept falling back to Mountain Town, because everyone called us Mountain Town before, even though we were Mount Pleasant, we liked that Mountain Town beer. So we thought, perfect, let's continue with the Mountain Town Brewing theme. A lot of money to change packaging, registering the name, all the shirts, everything had to change, but we knew we had to make that commitment because we had to make that change, and we did.
Craft beer fans needed these guys to stick around because of the unique and delicious beers they continue to put out into the market.
Not only do we have a lot of flagship brews that I'm proud of, but we brewed over 500 different batches of beer here. We have 500 different recipes already down. We continue to add to that. And the fact that we have that freedom and we have the chance to do something different and experiment a little bit. So that's always fun to do and always fun to mess around outside of the box a little bit.
They have Trainwreck, which is one of my all-time favorite beers.
For us, our flagship's Trainwreck. Trainwreck is everywhere. You know, we love the Trainwreck out there, along with our other 13 ones that we sell as well.
So this is Trainwreck. This is our Imperial Amber, and it has Michigan maple syrup, Michigan honey. We get the honey and frankenmuth and the maple syrup and Gladwin and Clare. It's a very smooth amber ale, actually. It's a little more malty. When we refer to malt-forward beers, it's with a grain, more of a grain, less of the hops. And this one actually, for 8.2, is very smooth.
So next up, this is a Groot. What is that?
So a Groot or Gruit is basically what beer was before what beer actually was beer. It's like a 1200, 1400 style recipe that is hopless. There's no hops in it at all. It's all herbal. And the reason why it's herbal is because they didn't know what hops were really, and they didn't have access to them. The herbs in this actually, that through experimentation and studies, actually say that they stimulate your mind, they create euphoria, and they're an aphrodisiac as well. So it's a very unique beer.
I'll have one of these every morning then.
When I drink beer, I like to, taste it and enjoy some unique flavors. So this one's pretty good.
These days, you have so many hop heads. People are just, packing the beers with different hops. You guys took the opposite. Yep. You did a Groot with absolutely no hops.
It's one of the very unique things that makes this a brewery, because there's very few that actually makes this style.
The unique thing about Mountain Town Brewing Company is that they allow their Mountain Town station head brewer, Buck, to put his own twist on the beers that they produce at the brew pub.
He's kind of changed up their golden and their IPAs a bit, and they're all been positive. I really like him. He's an amazing guy. He's doing some great things. So far, it's been amazing. I think he's been an excellent addition to this brewery.
This state has really grown its own identity as a beer state. What are your thoughts on what Michigan's become?
Yeah, I think we're the envy of a lot of states out there. When we sell beer or look at selling beers in other states, you're like, how fast can you get down here? Because we want to be like Michigan. And so you're starting to see really that uptick of everything going on now in other states as well. We're ahead of our time, which is great for the beer in our country. And they're envious, and they should be of us. We have great products. And what happens as more breweries grow in Michigan, it makes us become a better brewery. We have to be better, more innovative, and that's just great for the consumer overall.
Buck, Jim, thanks a bunch for having us today.
Yeah, guys, we choose Mountain Town. Cheers!
Next week on Pure Brews America, we have another scary good episode.
You do not want to miss our trip up north to Right Brain or the family crew at Cunahan next week on Pure Brews America.